26th, 2021. It's the day after. Oh my! Boy, my wife outdid herself. What a feast! What a feast. Man, it was good. Oh, just wonderful. On top of that, I got an unbelievable amount of rest, at least more than I've gotten in a very long time. I slept in, I took a little nap, and then I went to bed early. So I'm ready to go, baby! Ready to go! It's Friday! It's Friday! Oh, I don't know how much money we're going to make today, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about Thanksgiving, baby! What are we grateful for? You know, let's go over the obvious real fast. You know, God, family, health, you know. And then somewhere, a home, and then, you know, where it's going to fit in there somewhere, right? So, let's talk about what I'm most grateful for. One of the things I'm the most grateful for. DoorDash. Without a doubt. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but let's just say, my wife's mom had a stroke, and then three of our grandkids came to live with us. And so she had to stop working to take care of them. So I had to supplement my income. I tried Uber and Lyft. That was a disaster for lots of reasons. Mainly because you had to work at night, and you had to deal with all the events, all that kind of traffic, downtown St. Louis traffic. And then you had to deal with these other factors that were really obnoxious. They were called people. Oh, a lot of them were drunk, and the ones that weren't drunk sometimes could be more obnoxious than the people who were, like wanted to hand them alcohol. But that's all another story. I finally thought I found a great job. It paid unbelievable. It had unbelievable free benefits, free health insurance. They had an extra week of vacation. They closed between Christmas and New Year's. Everything I ever wanted out of a job, really. I thought God had blessed me unbelievably. And I went there, and within the first 30 minutes, really way before then, I realized I had made a horrible mistake. That it wasn't a blessing from God, that it was more self-will. That I had self-willed myself into thinking that was a good opportunity, and because sometimes things are too good to be true. And that's what that was. Because that place had no morals. It was the most toxic place you could ever imagine. There was a guy that worked there. He was in management. He was like in charge of the trucking part of it. I shouldn't say that. I was in charge of the trucking part of it. He was in charge of the dispatch part of it. And he did some other stuff too. About once an hour, he would just yell out, MF! And a bunch of other cuss words. He said that yelled it at the top of his lungs at least 10 times a day. And would make racial slurs and all kinds of other stuff. It was insane. It was insane. And on top of all of that, they broke every law known to man. Now, like back in the 1900s, late 1900s, and the early 2000s, you could do stuff. You could do stuff because we didn't have the technology that we have today. Like, it was just different, but now it's not like that. You should have tried to deliver food back in the day. Oh, we didn't have GPS. We had a complete gas map. That's what we had. You tried to memorize the streets. But we only delivered like within a mile of the store too. But it was way different, way different. You know, I started out my trucking career as a courier without GPS. So I digress. So that didn't work out. And my buddy John, thank God for John, had told me, hey, Rob, when we were talking about this devil job, because the one thing I found out during that time, that I wasn't willing to make a deal with the devil. That I had more integrity in that, right? So I was talking to John, my best friend John, and I said, John, what am I going to do? He said, Rob, I know some people that are making some good money with DoorDash. I'm like, come on, man, you got to have a better solution for me than that. Because I had done Uber and Lyft, right? And I compared it to that. But I signed up on the app anyway, and I had also tried Spark, which is Walmart's delivery app. And the very first day that I did that, I drove to St. Peter's, because that's where I signed up at. I didn't get to learn too much about their app. If I could have just picked any zone I wanted or whatever, I don't know. And from what I hear, some people are making money with Spark now, which doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me, especially right this moment. It doesn't surprise me a bit. So, and we do a bunch of Walmart deliveries, so we know. But could you imagine dealing with Walmart all day, every day? But, so I got there the first day for Spark, and I waited an hour before I even got a delivery, which ate me. You know, that's just too long for me, baby. And then I got to the very first delivery. They came out, they told me, yeah, we're real behind. It's going to be about 30 minutes. I never did a Spark delivery. Not even one. I just turned around and went home because I had one more hearing with unemployment, right? Unemployment denied me. I had paid into the system not quite 40 years, like maybe 37, 38. Never had filed for unemployment. And they denied me. Like, you're going to believe them over me? And I've never filed once. But yeah, we are. That's the way it works. So that day, I think it was probably early August of 2021, out of pure desperation, I went out to DoorDash, and I went to Arnold. I didn't want to mess around with Festus because I wanted to make some money, and I figured Arnold was the closest place to do that. So I went to Festus, and they said, "Oh, it's not busy here. Try Melville." So I thought they even gave me a point to go to in Melville. Maybe not. Maybe I just looked on the app, and that's I went there, and boom, it was busy. And then just like I knew within 30 minutes that job wasn't going to make it, I knew in the first 30 minutes that DoorDash was going to make it. I worked 3 or 4 hours in Melville that night, and then, I didn't know anything. I did every single delivery, all that, blah, blah, blah. Didn't know I could unassign orders, nothing like that. Did everything they asked me to do. And then I looked on the app, and it said I could also work in Festus. I went down to Festus and worked a couple hours down there, and they were semi-busy down there that night. That first night, I don't know how many hours I worked, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe even 7, I don't know. I made $135, and I thought, oh my God, this is going to work. We are not going to go bankrupt. And then the very next day, my thought was, because I've lived here my whole life, I bet you could make a little more money in Chesterfield. So the second day, I drove to Chesterfield. If you go from 55 and 270 to Chesterfield, what, 10 minutes? So I figured I'm going to drive that extra 10 minutes and try out Chesterfield. I just knew that I would feel more comfortable there in every way, shape, or form. And the rest is history, man. I remember my goal in the beginning was to make $160 a day. And then 200 on the weekends. And I remember the first time I made 200, it was a Friday. I was so happy, you know. And then my goal became to make $200 every single day, and then $250 on the weekends. And then I remember the first time I made 300, and I'm like, oh. You know, I went from thinking that we could survive to, you know, maybe even thrive a little bit. And then, you know, now if I work full time, my goal every single day is to make $300, and it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. In Chesterfield, the busiest day to work DoorDash is Monday. Now, with DoorDash, you know, there's weeks I made over $1,900 a week. You know, there's weeks where I made over $1,500 and only worked 5 days. There was a week that I made $1,600 and only worked 5 days. You know, it was just an unbelievable blessing. We thought that we had a cruise scheduled in February. We thought for sure we were going to have to postpone it. We could have, because all you had to do is say because of the pandemic. We did not have to postpone it. I just paid it off. I mean, I'm not going to say it hasn't put us a little bit behind, but we'll probably be caught up by, it takes about 30 days to catch up. I wasn't expecting to pay it off. I was expecting to postpone it and have more time to pay it off. But it all worked out. Yeah, all of our bills were paid. You know, instead of losing everything, we're not going to lose anything. We're going on a cruise. And now, you know, you know, it allowed me to be very picky as far as jobs go. You know, the job that I'm on the way to is a 4 days on, 4 days off job. And why did I choose that job? It's for less money than I was offered. Turned down jobs. It's so I can still do DoorDash. It wasn't the easiest decision to stop doing DoorDash full time. I'm a fairly successful person. Have I ever made $1,900 in 1 week? Now you got to minus gas and all that out of that. But even then, have I ever cleared $1,600? Okay, then you got to pay taxes, and then you got to think about maintenance in your car and all that, blah blah blah. Yeah, I've made $1,500. Yeah, I have done that. So I wanted a hybrid kind of deal where I could have a W-2 to get health insurance and all that stuff, retirement. I even got life insurance through this new job, stuff like that. And have DoorDash to back it up. The very first week, I made more money than I've ever made in my life by hundreds of dollars. And that includes working full-time for DoorDash. You know, a lot of people worry about taxes, but I keep track of my mileage every single day, and I owned a trucking company, so I know the mileage deduction is going to cover the taxes. It did 20 years ago, so I know it's going to now. And that was tractor trailers and stuff like that. So I'm not really worried about that. This was the blessing, not the great job that paid more money than I ever made in my life, that had, you know, an extra week of vacation and free benefits. That wasn't the blessing that God was trying to give me. he wanted to get me to such a desperate point that I would do DoorDash. That was the blessing. That was the blessing, along with, this 4 days on, 4 days off job. The plan is to work a little bit through the week and work 1 or 2 days of the 4 days off. And again, if I just make $600 with DoorDash a week, which last week I made $1,100 with DoorDash, so I can mellow out quite a bit. Quite a bit. I'll make quite a bit more money than I've ever made in my life. If I, it is what it is. I don't want to. It's obnoxious to talk about real numbers on that. So I do that with DoorDash to let people know, to get the word out. That's what this channel's all about. It's about getting the word out to people that, hey, if you're in the situation one I was in, you got some guy yelling MF every hour, and you got people breaking the law where you work and all that kind of stuff, and that seems extreme. Like it seems extreme to me. Trust me, I never would have imagined it. You got a boss that's threatening your job every single day. Like, if that ever happens again, somebody's not going to be working it. That kind of stuff. You don't have to put up with that crap, man. You do not. You do not. I've said this many times. The young people in this country have changed the world. Could you have said no? You said no. I'm not working in your dirty, nasty restaurant for $10 an hour. I'm not doing it. I'll stay at home with my mom. I don't care. No, that's what everybody thinks they're doing. I do not think that's what they're doing. I think they're doing DoorDash or something similar. God, there's so many things. I mean, there's GoPuff, there's DoorDash, there's Uber, there's Lyft, there's Spark, and there's more. Grubhub and Uber Eats, and that's just with your car. That's just with a car. There's a bunch more stuff you can do. Tons of stuff. So, stuff that I don't even know about, for sure. So they've already changed the world. They not have only changed the world for themselves, but everybody else that would have had to accept those jobs for $10, $12, $13 an hour. They're paying $15 and $16 an hour. And old people didn't do that. People like me that think they run the world, they didn't do that. The young people of this country did that. And I take my hat off to you. You changed the world. Thank you. Thank you, DoorDash. Thank you. What a blessing. What an unbelievable blessing that it is. It's got to be the thing I'm most grateful for, other than God and family and health. No doubt about it. DoorDash is number 4 right now, this day. Thank you. It's not perfect. We all know that. I'm not going to say a word about any of that. That's a whole nother video. Trust me. When I go out and work tonight after getting off my W-2 job, I'm like everybody else. I'm hoping the app doesn't crash. I don't think it will tonight because it's not going to be near as busy as it was Wednesday. A lot of people being leftovers. there'll be plenty of Walmart deliveries today. That is what crashed the app. That is what crashed the app. After seeing some of the posts on social media, it didn't crash everywhere. And it depends on where you're at and how many orders you're getting. And I remember the last time Walmart had all these deliveries, the app was very sketchy. So now Walmart probably had double the deliveries, and the app just couldn't handle it where I was stationed, But it happened all over St. Louis for sure. And then I'm not sure. It happened other places for sure too. The exact same issue. But if you live somewhere, let's say, where Walmart didn't have a bunch of orders, or you lived in the area where there's not as many Dashers, yeah, your app was probably fine.